ریاست ہزاروں کی تعداد میں فلسطینیوں کو قتل کیا جا رہا ہے. وہاں پہ خاص طور پر غزہ کی پٹی میں بڑے پیمانے کے اوپر بمباری کی جا رہی ہے اور ایک گراؤنڈ اوفینسو کی تیاری کی جا رہی ہے. اور جو 23 لاکھ کی آبادی ہے غزہ کے اندر اس کو بے گھر کیا جا رہا ہے. وہاں پہ دن رات شیلنگ ہے, وہاں کی عمارتیں تباہ کر دی گئی ہیں. وہاں پہ جو سب سے ایک بھیانک جنگی جرائم کا مرتکب ہوا ہے اسرائیل اور اس کا جو حکمران نتن یاہو, وہ ایک ہاسپٹل کے اوپر بمباری کی گئی ہے جس کے اندر سینکڑوں وہاں پہ لوگ جو ہے وہ شہید ہو چکے ہیں. اور اس کے اندر وہاں پہ نہ صرف مریض تھے بلکہ بہت سے لوگ جو پناہ لے رہے تھے وہاں پہ وہ لوگ اس حملے کے اندر مارے گئے ہیں. اور وہاں پہ آپ نے دیکھا ہوگا کہ وہاں کے ڈاکٹروں نے لاشوں کے ساتھ ایک پریس کانفرنس کی وہاں پہ. اور اسی طرح وہاں پہ ایک جو اقوام متحدہ کا ریفیوجی کیمپ تھا اس پہ بمباری کی گئی. اسی طرح وہاں پہ ایک چرچ کے اوپر بمباری کی گئی. اور حملہ اسرائیل کی سامراجی ریاست غزہ کے اوپر اس وقت جاری رکھے ہوئے ہے, جس کی جتنی مذمت کی جائے کم ہے. امریکی سامراج اور دیگر مغربی سامراجی طاقتیں اس وقت اسرائیل کی پشت پر کھڑی ہیں اور اس کی مکمل حمایت کر رہی ہیں. جب کسی طرف ہم دیکھیں یورپ میں, امریکہ میں لاکھوں کی تعداد میں جو عام لوگ ہیں وہ احتجاج کر رہے ہیں اسرائیل کی اس سامراجی حملے کے خلاف. لیکن آج ہمارے ساتھ فلسطین سے ایک صحافی, ایک سینئر صحافی, ایک سابقہ بائیں بازو کے سرگرم کارکن کامریڈ حسیب موجود ہیں جو یروشلم میں ہیں اس وقت, اور ہمارے ساتھ وہاں سے براہ راست آن لائن گفتگو کر رہے ہیں. اور یہ پچھلے تقریباً 1955 سے یروشلم کے اندر ہی رہ رہے ہیں, ان کا اپنا گھر ہے. اور یروشلم جو آپ جانتے ہیں کہ ایک انتہائی مقدس مقامات جو ہے مختلف مذاہب کے حوالے سے وہاں پر موجود ہے. اور وہاں پہ بھی ایک تناؤ کی کیفیت ہے, خاص طور پر جب سے ٹرمپ نے یروشلم کو کیپٹل اناؤنس کیا تھا اسرائیل کا, اور وہاں سے ایک تناؤ کی کیفیت ہے. اور وہاں پہ بڑے پیمانے پر نئی آباد کاریاں جو بستیاں ہیں, یہودی بستیاں, وہ آباد کی جا رہی ہیں اور وہاں کے مقامی لوگوں کو گھروں سے نکالا جا رہا ہے. تو ہمارے ساتھ کامریڈ حسیب ہیں یروشلم سے, ہم ان سے گفتگو کریں گے. وہ ظاہر آپ سمجھتے ہیں کہ اردو نہیں بول سکتے, وہ عربی یا انگلش بول سکتے ہیں. ہم ان سے انگلش میں ہی بات کریں گے اور ساتھ ساتھ اپنے مزدور ٹی وی کے ناظرین کے لیے اس کا اردو ترجمہ بھی کرتے جائیں گے. وہ ہمیں وہاں کی موجودہ صورتحال, غزہ کی, مغربی کنارے کی, فلسطین کی جو صورتحال ہے, جو عرب ممالک کی صورتحال ہے, جو جنگ کی صورتحال ہے, اور پھر ظاہر ہے وہاں پہ جو بائیں بازو کی گفتیں ہیں ان کی جدوجہد اور عوامی جو مزاحمت ہے اس کے حوالے سے آگاہ کریں گے. کامریڈ حسیب, ویلکم ٹو آور پروگرام مزدور ٹی وی اینڈ تھینکس فار یور ٹائم فار اس.
Thank you.
And we will like to know what is the current situation in Gaza right now and what is happening there and what is the current situation?
Well, the situation in Gaza is that the shelling still bombarding from the Israeli aircrafts and direct shelling or bombarding killing more people, because now the death rate is like 4,100 as Al Jazeera was talking. And there is the significant accidents or action was the destroying or shelling the Greek Orthodox Church in Gaza, which killed 20. I have the name of 17th of them, and one of the families was whipped off the records. The family of Suri, and the casualties up till now it's 12 women, 5 men who was in the church yesterday. Now the people is leaving their places and they want to shelter under the places like churches, like hospitals, but the Israelis are not differing between any of the civilian or they pretend military. So the killing is still going on, and the announcement of the Israeli army and politics, and especially after the visit of President of United States, Mr. Biden. Now they are, as they told Biden that we don't have plan to do, because he asked them what you will do after finishing the war. They said we don't have a plan. So he said, no, you have to sit down and put a plan. Now the plan is, which was...
Comrade, I will like to translate what you have said to our viewers. ہمیں حسیب بتا رہے ہیں کہ وہاں پہ جنگ ابھی جاری ہے, بدترین شیلنگ اسرائیل کی طرف سے وہاں پہ ہو رہی ہے, اور 4100 فلسطینی آج کی تاریخ تک ہلاک ہو چکے ہیں, جو الجزیرہ پہ بھی رپورٹ آ چکی ہے. اور کل انہوں نے وہاں پہ غزہ کے اندر ایک بہت ہی قدیم چرچ تھا, تقریباً 2000 سال پرانا, اس پر حملہ کیا, اور وہاں پہ بہت سے لوگ مارے گئے, اور وہاں کی جو مقامی فیملیز تھیں وہ ہلاک ہوئی, اور بڑے پیمانے کے اوپر وہاں پہ شیلنگ اور جنگ جاری ہے, اور غزہ کے اوپر ابھی بھی بمباری ہو رہی ہے. اور انہوں نے بتایا کہ ابھی جب امریکہ کا صدر یہاں پہ اسرائیل آیا ہے, اس نے اس سے پوچھا ہے اسرائیل کے حکمرانوں سے کہ اگر آپ اس غزہ کے اوپر قبضہ کر لیتے ہیں, وہاں پہ اپنی فوج بھیج دیتے ہیں, اس کے بعد آپ کے پاس کیا پلان ہے. اس نے کہا ہمارے پاس کوئی پلان نہیں ہے, کوئی منصوبہ نہیں ہے, there is no plan there. So what is the plan you think for them, and what they want to do with the ground offensive and with this whole thing?
The plan, what they came out of it, that they will ambush the north of Gaza, north of the Gaza Strip. They will clean it from the people and from the fighters, push them south, and then the next stage is to deal with the south of Gaza. Now, the shelling left Gaza without water, without electricity, without gas, without food even, without shelters. Now, almost like 25,000 apartments were destroyed, about 20 or more than 20,000 families now are homeless, and 1,600 child were killed, and women. Okay, there's no exact figure about this. And now Israel is forbidding any kind of supplies to get into Gaza through the southern borders with Egypt. Egypt says that we cannot do anything unless Israel allow us to get inside. Now, Mr. Guterres, the Secretary of the United Nations, is in Rafah, and he is appealing to Israelis and to the world to put pressure on Israel to allow the opening of Rafah entrance from Egypt. The food, medicine, and water is there, and of course the oil, and oil is there, but are waiting on the borders of Gaza. The plan is to push the Palestinians into Sinai, and then there was talking from some Israeli officials that we will invest a lot of money to settle the Palestinians in Sinai. So the war is not against Hamas. The war is against the Palestinians. The war against shelling, destructing Gaza, to grab Gaza and grab more land from in Palestine, and then it's not their duty to take care about the Palestinian who will be displaced in the future. This is...
Yes. Let me translate all this. کامریڈ نے بتایا ہے کہ اس وقت جو شیلنگ اور غزہ کے اوپر حملہ جاری ہے، جس کے اندر جو نارتھ آف غزہ ہے، جو شمالی علاقہ ہے غزہ کا، وہاں سے لوگوں کو بڑے پیمانے کے اوپر جو ہے وہ نکالا جا رہا ہے، اور وہاں سے ان کو کہا جا رہا ہے کہ آپ غزہ کے جنوبی حصے کی طرف جو ہے وہ موو کر دیں، جس میں لاکھوں لوگوں کو نقل مکانی کے لیے جبری طور پر کہا جا رہا ہے. اور اس دوران بڑے پیمانے کے اوپر شیلنگ کی جا رہی ہے. 25,000 کے قریب جو اپارٹمنٹس ہیں، فلیٹس ہیں، وہ تباہ کر دیے گئے ہیں. 1600 کے قریب بچے قتل ہو چکے ہیں. اور اس وقت غزہ کے اندر نہ پانی پینے کا پانی موجود ہے، نہ کھانے کی چیزیں موجود ہیں، نہ ادویات موجود ہیں، نہ کوئی اور دوسری بنیادی ضروریات جو ہیں وہ موجود ہیں. اور جو بارڈر ہے غزہ کی پٹی کا مصر کے ساتھ، جس کو رفح بارڈر کہا جاتا ہے، اس کو سیل کر دیا گیا ہے، اور وہاں سے کوئی بھی امدادی سامان غزہ کی پٹی میں لانے نہیں دیا جا رہا تھا. اور اقوام متحدہ کا جو جنرل سیکرٹری ہے گٹیریز، وہ اس وقت رفح بارڈر کے اندر مصر کے اندر موجود ہے، اور وہ کہہ رہا ہے کہ اسرائیل پہ دباؤ ڈالا جائے کہ وہ کسی طرح درخواست کر رہا ہے، منتیں کر رہا ہے کہ وہ رفح بارڈر کھول دے. اور وہاں پہ بارڈر کے اوپر ٹرک کھڑے ہیں جن کے اندر دوائیاں موجود ہیں، جن کے اندر کھانا موجود ہے، جن کے اندر تیل موجود ہے وہاں جنریٹرز کے لیے، باقی چیزوں کے لیے، اور پینے کے پانی کا ادھر انتظام موجود ہے. لیکن اسرائیل وہ بارڈر کراسنگ کھولنے نہیں دے رہا رفح کی. اور اسرائیل کا پلان یہ ہے کہ جو شمالی حصہ ہے غزہ کا، اس کی زمین کو قبضے میں کیا جائے. وہ کوئی حماس کے خلاف جنگ نہیں کر رہا، وہ کوئی دہشت گردی ختم نہیں کرنا چاہ رہا، وہ فلسطین کی زمین پہ قبضہ کرنا چاہ رہا ہے. وہاں کے لوگوں کو اس وقت مجبور کیا جا رہا ہے کہ وہ رفح بارڈر کے ذریعے مصر کے اندر جو ایک صحرا ہے سینائی کا، وہاں پہ منتقل ہو جائیں، اور وہاں کے جو خیمے بستیاں ہیں وہاں پہ چلے جائیں. اور بعد میں ان کا کیا ہوگا کوئی پوچھنے والا نہیں ہے، کوئی سننے والا نہیں ہے، وہ کس حال میں ہوں گے. اور اسرائیل کے لوگ وہ غزہ کے سارے علاقے پہ پہلے شمالی حصے پہ قبضہ کریں گے، اور اس کے بعد پھر آنے والے عرصے میں جنوبی حصے پہ بھی قبضہ کر دیا جائے. Yes, please continue what you were saying about
Gaza. You see more pictures in the media station like Jazeera, Mayadeen, and the others. Even the American media. And the situation at the beginning of the ambush or the attacks on Gaza, the media situation was different from now. Now the media is talking different language, saying that they cannot go further with the Israeli pretends that they are fighting and killing the Hamas brigade or that because they see that 90%, 95%, 99% of the deaths are civilians, children and women. And the situation on the even the countries, the West countries is different now. You can see the demonstration against the aggression and against the attacks on Gaza in different Western capitals and cities, in Germany, in London, and in Paris, and Spain. Although there is some rules preventing people to demonstrate against Israel, because Israel was holding those government with contracts that or agreements that nobody of such countries can criticize or condemn the Israeli. Otherwise, there is the law of anti-Semitism is there. They can judge and convict people. And I received information from our comrades in France. They said that 106 people in Marseille were apprehended, were stopped by the police, and some of them still in the prisons. The Arab countries now, the different situation is that the people are leading the policy of the country. That's we call it a revolution. in the situation of the Arab countries, that the people are talking about attacking Israel. They want to share the fighting against Israel, but the countries like the Gulf, not all the Gulf, Kuwait is not approving with them. Emirates are so bad. Saudi is trying to hold the stick from the middle. Egypt is afraid of that will affect them badly if Israel is thinking of pushing the Palestinians out of their of Gaza to Sinai. So the whole situation is changing. Also, there is some attacks on the American stations or American centers in the Arab countries. 2 attacks on the Tanf station, American station, and the Syrian gas wells, which is occupied by the American, was attacked by rockets from people. They said this is because of Iran asked them to shell the places. The fight also moved to the north of Palestine with Lebanon. There is some encouraging news about the situation on that. Is that the army, the Israeli army, occupation army, lost like 40 tanks. They said like this.
Yes, we will talk about Lebanon. I just like to translate what you have already said.
Yes.
उन्होंने कहा है कि इस वक्त जो इसराइल बमबारी कर रहा है उसके खिलाफ जो आलमी सतह के ऊपर राय आमा है वो तब्दील हो रही है, जिसके अंदर जो अवामी एहतजाज हैं, जो रैलियां हैं और जो लोगों की इसराइल के इस साम्राज्य जंग के खिलाफ नफरत है, उसने बड़ा अहम किरदार अदा किया। उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे जो खबरें मिल रही हैं कि यूरोप में बहुत बड़े बड़े एहतजाज हुए हैं, जिसमें लाखों लोग सड़कों के ऊपर निकले हैं, जिसमें जर्मनी में, फ्रांस में, बरतानिया में, स्पेन में बहुत बड़े बड़े एहतजाज हुए। उन्होंने कहा कि मुझे दोस्तों ने फ्रांस में बताया कि 106 लोग गिरफ्तार किए हैं और फ्रांस के अंदर, और वो उनमें से बहुत से लोग अभी भी जेल में हैं। उनका जुर्म सिर्फ ये है कि वो फलस्तीन के हक में एहतजाज कर रहे थे। और इन्होंने कहा कि इसराइल के साथ उन हुकूमतों के कॉन्ट्रैक्ट हैं और वहां पे ऐसे कवानीन हैं यूरोप में और मगरिब में कि आप इसराइल के खिलाफ बात करें तो आपको जुर्म करार दिया जाता है, आपको जेल में डाला जा सकता है। आप इसराइल की मजम्मत करें किसी साम्राज्य हमले की तो आपको जो है वो कानूनी कार्रवाई का सामना करना पड़ सकता है। इस वजह से वहां पे एक रुकावट थी। लेकिन जो हालिया हम सारी तहरीक देख रहे हैं, इसमें लाखों के इज्तिमा न्यूयॉर्क में, कनाडा में, पूरे मगरिब में हुए हैं, जिसने हमें हौसला दिया। फिर उन्होंने कहा कि अरब मुल्कों के अंदर मूड बदल रहा है और पहली दफा हम देख रहे हैं कि लोग हुकूमतों को जो है वो मजबूर कर रहे हैं कि आप इसराइल के खिलाफ हमला करें और उसको जो फलस्तीनियों का कत्लेआम हो रहा है उससे रोकें। और उसमें वो कह रहे हैं कि बहुत से अरब मुल्कों में, खासतौर पर मिस्र में, उर्दन में और दूसरे मुल्कों में बहुत बड़े बड़े एहतजाज हुए हैं। लेकिन उसमें भी हम कह रहे हैं कि जो अमारात और कुवैत हैं वो अभी भी इसराइल का साथ दे रहे हैं और सऊदी अरब एक दरमियानी पॉलिसी रखा हुआ है। और इसी तरह वो कह रहे हैं कि अरब मुल्कों में अमेरिका के एम्बेसियों पे हमले हो रहे हैं, जो मगरिबी स्टेशंस हैं, और शाम के अंदर जो है वो अमेरिकी सेंटर्स के ऊपर जो हमले हुए हैं, जिसमें इल्जाम लगा रहे हैं कि ईरान ये करवा रहा है। लेकिन अवामी रद्द-ए-अमल खास तौर पर बहुत से अरब मुल्कों में इस वक्त तब्दील हो रहा है, जो हमारे लिए बड़ा खुश आइंद है। और हमें जो है वहां से बड़ा हौसला मिल रहा है कि हमारे हक में लाखों लोग अरब मुल्कों में, यूरोप में, अमेरिका में सड़कों पे ऊपर निकल रहे हैं। फिर आप वो लबनान की बात कर रहे हैं कि वहां भी जो फलस्तीन के शुमाल का इलाका है लबनान में, वहां भी एक जंग का आगाज हो चुका है और वहां भी इसराइल और जो लबनान में हिजबुल्ला या जो इसराइल मुखालिफ कुव्वतें हैं उनके दरमियान एक जंग का आगाज हो चुका है। उसके हवाले से आपको हमें बताएं। यस प्लीज, यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट लेबनान।
Well, Lebanon now is moving towards clashes with the Israelis, and this is gradually are growing between the two sides, and this will push the Israelis to move more army on the northern borders, because they are gathering like 300,000 on the border of Gaza. Well, Lebanon was talking that we will not allow the displacement of the Palestinians again, and this will be like the margin or the edge that they will move deeply or more deeply in the war against Israel. Israel is not so sure of the war with Lebanon, because they knew or experienced the war with Lebanon or with Hezbollah. Although Hezbollah is facing some troubles inside Lebanon, because there are some right wings and some even Sunni people, Sunni Muslims, are facing or against the war with Israel, together with the right wings of the Christian fragments like Kataib, like Al-Quwat, and the others. So it's not easy to take the decision of war. That's will prolong the war with Israel on Gaza. Now, for the Israeli government with American and a British government who are involved deeply in the war against Gaza or in Gaza with Israel, if failed in this battle, then the government will fall automatically, because the whole ring that put them together is that war on Gaza. If they fail to win the war in Gaza, then there will be a dramatic changes inside Israel. So that's why the most fragments, even the opposition and the government, are talking that they have to win the war against Gaza. But we believe that there will be a change in the international opinion or international decisions, because they are not all agree with what Israel is doing. And even the Americans are saying that if you proceed with this kind of war against Gaza, will lose the solidarity of the world, the West world solidarity with you. Joseph Borrell, the European Union political secretary or political leader, is saying that we cannot deal with the Gaza different from Ukraine. If we say that Ukraine is fighting for their freedom, then we have to accept that Gaza is fighting for their freedom, or we will lose the ethical position of the European Union. I see that it's not so much affecting the world, but there to tell about there is a difference in the international position or international stand. Up till now, we need to activate the pressure on Israel in different platforms, like the Human Rights Council, the International Human Rights Council, the General Assembly. Of course, they will take a decision against the Israeli aggression, but the Security Council will be controlled by the veto. Of course, the Russian failed twice to win a resolution to stop the the fight. So the fight will continue. And
yes, I think, sorry to interrupt you. First I will translate and then I will give my opinion that it is the power of the masses, the power of the movement which will force the governments or which will the state departments or the United Nations, because the level of protest we have never seen before, and the anger and the public sentiment in Europe, especially in the West, either it is in New York, in Canada, in London, in Paris, there are hundreds of thousands of people in those rallies who are against all these governments and Western imperialism, which is attacking Palestine and which is supporting Israel in all this. And this will change the mood in the international politics, and this will affect the politics actually. And this is very important, and we are building towards that, and we are trying to contribute in that. I am a member of International Marxist Tendency, which is working in around 50 countries in the world, including European countries, America, and Canada, and they have participated in these protests. They are calling off students and workers to come out in solidarity with the Palestinians. And you are talking about prisons. Even our comrades in Britain, there was an article in Telegraph, which is one of the major newspapers in Britain, which was saying that these communists should be sent to jail for 14 years for raising the Palestinian flag or raising the slogan Intifada until victory. They are discussing to ban the word Intifada, and they are attacking our comrades there in Europe and America. And I think despite all these threats, despite all these legal comrades and communists in all these countries are overwhelmingly supporting Palestinian cause, and this will change the course of events in Western countries. And definitely everyone extends complete solidarity with the people in Gaza, the whole of Palestine, and we support the freedom struggle of Palestinians. And even in Pakistan, from where I am at the moment in Lahore, all the comrades in Pakistan, all the Marxists, all the people in the working class, especially in Pakistan, completely supports Palestinians and extends complete solidarity with the freedom struggle of Palestinians, and are totally against this Israeli aggression, this Zionist, imperialist Israeli state. So this is the whole situation there. But and I will also want to ask you about the situation in Jerusalem, because you are now living in Jerusalem for so many decades, and at the moment you are in Jerusalem. So what is the situation there? What is the situation of settlements and the role of police there?
Well, I just read an article that from by Beit Salem says that the settlers are taking advantage of the war in Gaza to grab more lands around Jerusalem. So they are trying to build another 250 units in one of the settlement or colonies around Jerusalem, which is very close to the old city. It's called Ras al-Amud, the head of the pillar. So the situation in Jerusalem is not it's the same like the West Bank, but in Jerusalem they are taking different policy. But up till now we lost 2 martyrs, and over 27 people were arrested since the war in Gaza, and still going on arresting people and apprehending people. And even those people who were released recently, they were re-arrested by the Israelis. The situation in Jerusalem is very bad because they are implementing the Israeli law over the Jerusalemites and the Jerusalem. And let's not forget about what the big plan that Israeli are trying to implement in Jerusalem to change like 2/3 of Jerusalem, East Jerusalem, to come in harmony or with the situation in the West Jerusalem, and to change the whole character of East Jerusalem and make it like a Jewish character, like the west side of the. So the confiscation of land is still going on, the arresting is still going on, the killing is still going on, and the demolishing of the houses is still going on. So nothing changed, but even increases, as the B'Tselem said that the settlers or the colonists are taking advantage of the war. So nobody is taking care of what they are doing here.
وہ اب ہمیں جو ہے یہ دوست یروشلم کے بارے میں بتا رہے ہیں کہ یروشلم کے اندر بھی حالات جب سے غزہ کے اوپر جنگ کا حملہ ہوا ہے، یروشلم جہاں پہ مقدس مقامات ہیں، مسجد اقصی ہے اور دوسرے جو ہے وہ تاریخی مقامات ہیں، وہاں پہ جو آباد کار ہیں وہ زیادہ بڑے حملے کر رہے ہیں، اور 27 لوگوں کو گرفتار اب تک کر لیا گیا ہے جب سے یہ نئی جنگ شروع ہوئی ہے. 2 لوگ شہید ہو چکے ہیں، اور جن کو گرفتار کیا گیا تھا ان کو رہا کیا گیا اور بعد میں دوبارہ گرفتار کر گیا. اور جو یروشلم کے 2 حصے ہیں، جو مشرقی یروشلم ہے وہاں پہ زیادہ تر فلسطینی آباد ہیں، لیکن وہاں پہ اب 250 گھروں کی ایک نئی کالونی ایک محلے کے اندر جو ہے وہ نئی بنائی جا رہی ہے، جہاں پہ آباد کاروں کو رکھا جائے گا، جو کہ ایک بہت بڑا حملہ ہے. اور اسی طرح مشرقی یروشلم کو بھی مغربی یروشلم کی طرح کی آبادی بنانے کی کوشش کی جا رہی ہے، فلسطینیوں کو بے دخل کرنے کا منصوبہ ہے، اور حالات بہت خراب ہیں کیونکہ زیادہ تر توجہ غزہ کے اوپر ہے، اور یہاں پہ جو کچھ جرائم کیے جا رہے ہیں یا آباد کار جو کچھ کر رہے ہیں اس پر کوئی خاص توجہ کوئی نہیں دے رہا، اور حالات خراب ہو. Yes, you were talking about Jerusalem.
Well, the most important fact in Jerusalem is the Al-Masjid Al-Aqsa, Al-Aqsa Mosque in Jerusalem. Al-Aqsa Mosque is in the heart or in the eye of the settlers and the right wing, is that if they manage to build what they call it Al-Haykal, or the synagogue, inside the outskirts of Al-Aqsa and the Dome of the Rock, then they manage or succeed to prove that the Israelis, with the international media talking about the right of the Jews inside Jerusalem and Palestine, so they are concentrating on visiting the Al-Aqsa and praying on the doors of Al-Aqsa, because it's different doors around Al-Aqsa that leads to different places inside the city. So they are concentrating on how they can gradually prove themselves inside this Islamic enshrine. So Al-Aqsa is under a very big attack today, and the Friday pray. They prevent all the people who are not living inside the old city to enter to pray inside the Al-Aqsa. So most of the people prayed in the streets and outskirts of Al-Aqsa and Al-Sakhra, the Dome of the Rock. So the war over
یروشلم کے اندر جو ہے مسجد اقصی ایک مرکزی نقطہ ہے، اور وہاں پر جو ہے وہ مذہبی نفرت اور پھیلانے کی کوشش کی جا رہی ہے، اور مسجد کی جگہ پر ایک یہودی عبادت گاہ بنانے کی آنے والے وقتوں میں کوشش کی جائے گی، اور اس کے لیے ابھی سے تیاری کی جا رہی ہے، اور وہاں پہ حالات اس حوالے سے خراب کیے جا رہے ہیں. اور وہ کہتے کہ آج جمعے کا دن تھا، اور جمعے کی نماز کے وقت جو لوگ صرف پرانے یروشلم کے اندر رہتے ہیں صرف ان کو اجازت تھی کہ وہ مسجد اقصی میں جمعے کی نماز پڑھ سکتے تھے، باہر کے لوگوں کو اجازت نہیں دی گئی، اور وہ باہر گلیوں میں سڑکوں پر جو ہے وہ نماز پڑھ رہے تھے، اور اس حوالے سے ایک مذہبی جبر وہاں پہ یروشلم کے اندر موجود ہے اور آنے والے دنوں میں اس میں اضافہ یا اس کو مزید اشتعال انگیزی کے لیے استعمال کیا جا سکتا. Yes.
There is like many Jewish organizations are working to steal this enshrine or this very sacred place for the Muslims all over the world. It's not for the Palestinians, because this was the first place to pray towards, and the third famous mosque for the Muslims after Mecca and Medina. So
yes.
This is a very common information, but the Al-Aqsa is being attacked every day by the police, by the settlers. Now they are trying to put like a schedule, time schedule for the pray time in Al-Aqsa Mosque. They allow the Muslims to come to Al-Fajr pray in the morning, and then they prevent Muslims to get inside until the Israeli will go and make their round all over the place, and then they allow the Muslims to go back again around the noon pray. So it's kind of dividing time between Muslims and Jews. This is against what it's called the status quo that Moshe Dayan at the 1967 war promised Jordan and Turkey not to interfere in this place, but according to that, the government, the latest several governments, like 3 or 4 governments in Israel, are very right-wing. So they are trying to make it official by the 2 ministers. It was like a group of organization, fanatic organization, like the faithful of, they call it the Temple Mount, to come, and then another Yehuda Glek organization, yes. And then after that the Smotrich and Ben Gvir, who are officially inside the government, are sharing the invasion or the attacking Al-Aqsa every day with the police under the security or secure police, Israeli police, who go with them all the time, and to push all the Palestinians and Muslim out of place. And there is more than 50 orders in the recent time were issued against the people who stayed inside Aqsa Mosque all the time. They call them Al-Murabitun, who pray and sometimes spend the whole day inside Al-Aqsa Mosque. So they call them Al-Murabitun. These Murabitun are vulnerable to certain orders to be expelled from Al-Aqsa. And of course, the people inside Palestine, the 48 people, Palestinian 48 people, now are sharing with the Jerusalemite to get in, especially to know that the people in West Bank are not allowed to get
that is a very huge attack on the basic rights of the people there. And just like we can expect from a state like Israel can do that. Please tell us something about the West Bank. What is the situation in West Bank and all life going on there?
Well, the West Bank is worse now. The West Bank is under heavy land confiscation. There is no month or a day passed without orders of confiscation for public use, for army maneuvering yards, and of course the settlers. In the West Bank, Adam, let me tell you, there is two kinds or two different types of law. The law for the settlers, the colonialists, and the law for the people, the Palestinian people. For the Palestinian people, no building without license, no movement without permissions, no, how they say it, trade or moving inside the area. But the other law is implemented, and especially for the settlers, free hand of grabbing land, free hand of attacking people, like Hawara and other places like Nablus, like Tulkarem. Those Tulkarem and Hawara are not attacked by the army only and the police only. They are attacked by the settlers. The settlers share the army on attacking. Most of them are armed, if not one piece, two pieces even. And now they are talking about giving 10,000 piece weapons to the settlers. So the situation is that free killing, free confiscating, free move, okay, and ruling the local Palestinians inside. Now Smotrich, who is the one who created the plan, is they say that the end plan means that three things: either to obey the Israeli rule, or leave the country, or be killed. This is what Smotrich is asking for. And we see that Netanyahu, under this pressure of the right wing, are implementing this plan and this policy. So
یہ مغربی کنارے کی اب صورتحال بتا رہے ہیں. جو فلسطین کا جو دوسرا حصہ ہے غزہ کے اوپر تو جنگ جاری ہے, لیکن مغربی کنارے کے اندر کافی بڑی آبادی ہے فلسطینیوں کی. وہ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ وہاں پہ دو قانون ہیں. جو فلسطینیوں کے لیے قانون یہ ہے کہ ان کو اگر گھر لینا ہے اس کے لیے ان کو لائسنس چاہیے, انہوں نے کہیں باہر جانا ہے اس کے لیے لائسنس چاہیے, اور ہر دوسری چیز کے لیے لائسنس چاہیے. لیکن جو آباد کار ہے, جن کی نئی بستیاں وہاں پہ بنائی جا رہی ہیں, آباد کاری کی جا رہی ہے, ان کے لیے کوئی قانون نہیں ہے. وہ کسی کو قتل کر دیں, وہ کہیں پہ قبضہ کر لیں زمین پر, وہ کہیں پہ آئیں جائیں, ان کے لیے کوئی اجازت کی کچھ قانون کی ضرورت نہیں ہے. اور وہ فوج سے اور پولیس سے بالکل الگ حملے کر رہے ہیں. حال ہی میں جو مغربی کنارے میں حملے ہوئے ہیں وہ نہ فوج نے کیے نہ پولیس نے, بلکہ جو آباد کار ہیں, جو انتہائی دائیں بازو کے لوگ وہاں پہ لا کے آباد کیے جا رہے ہیں, جن کو اب مسلح کیا جا رہا ہے. اور ان کے مغربی کنارے کے بارے میں اور فلسطین کے بارے میں جو اسرائیل کا وزیر ہے اس نے کہا کہ ان کے پاس 3 آپشنز ہیں, یا تو وہ یہ جگہ چھوڑ کے چلے جائیں, یا اسرائیل کا حکم مانیں, یا پھر مر جائیں یا موت کے لیے تیار ہو جائیں. اور وہ جو نتنیاہو ہے, جو وزیر اعظم ہے اسرائیل کا, وہ اسی منصوبے کے اوپر عمل درآمد کر رہا ہے, اور مغربی کنارے کے اندر بڑے پیمانے کے اوپر بدماشی اور قتل و غارت اور جرائم جو ہے وہ ان آباد کاروں کی طرف سے کیے جا رہے ہیں. یس پلیز.
Now this behaviors are sometimes done without any interfering from the Palestinian Authority. Sometimes that the cooperation, the security cooperation, which is demanded by the people to cancel it and not to work with it, but the Palestinian Authority are still doing that with the Israeli forces. The settlers are doing this under the sight of the Palestinian Authority and under the sight of Palestinian forces who are sometimes securing them when they enter cities. Yeah. When they enter city, they ask the Palestinian forces not to interfere, so the Palestinian forces will leave this center and make them free entry to such like Tulkarem, like Jenin, like Nablus. Some of them, and very, very, very rare times that some of the national forces, the Palestinian national forces, will share in attacking or pushing the Israeli out of the... recently, one of them was killed, shot by the Israeli army because he fought against them when they entered Tulkarem. That's the situation. Is there is no rule except for the Israelis, and the Palestinian Authority is practicing authority over some very few works and trade and taxes and traffic and some of the education centers in the city, exactly as the Israeli planned for them at the beginning of Oslo, is like autonomous authority to help them controlling unfortunately, I'm talking about this with a broken heart, that the things that we hope to see is Palestinian strong authority, but not actually, it's not a strong authority.
یہ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ فلسطین کے اندر جو فلسطینی اتھارٹی کے نام سے ایک ادارہ بنایا گیا ہے اور ایک نیم حکومت سی بنائی گئی ہے، اس کے پاس کوئی حقیقت میں اتھارٹی نہیں ہے. جو اوسلو معاہدہ ہوا تھا 1991 میں، اور اس کے اندر جو فلسطینی اور جو دو ملکوں کا، دو ریاستوں کا حل پیش کیا گیا تھا، وہ عملی طور پر موجود نہیں ہے. فلسطینی اتھارٹی کے پاس کوئی طاقت نہیں ہے. اصل قانون اسرائیل کا چلتا ہے، اور ان کو صرف پولیس کرنے کے لیے یا ٹریفک کے لیے یا ٹیکس اکٹھا کرنے کے لیے فلسطینی اتھارٹی یا اس کے اہلکار وہاں پہ آتے ہیں. اور جب اسرائیلی فوج یا اس کے پولیس والے آتے ہیں تو جو مقامی فلسطینی پولیس ہے، سیکیورٹی اہلکار ہے، وہ وہاں سے چلے جاتے ہیں. اور اگر کوئی مزاحمت کرتا ہے تو اس کو ابھی حال ہی میں ایک شخص کو گولی بھی مار دی گئی ایسے شخص. اور وہ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ مجھے بڑے دکھی دل کے ساتھ یہ کہنا پڑ رہا ہے کہ فلسطینی اتھارٹی نام کی کوئی چیز حقیقت میں عملی طور پر موجود نہیں ہے، اور وہ صرف ایک کاغذی کاروائی تھی، Oslo معاہدہ. So what is your opinion about the Oslo Agreement and the PLO and the general condition of the whole political situation of the Palestine?
Unfortunately, my opinion is very negative about this, because at the beginning the people didn't know what was the whole thing about it. Then when they discovered that things are going like that, when they practice it, for example, now the people in the West Bank haven't very good or big hospitals. Those big hospitals is in Jerusalem. Al-Maqasid Hospital, the St. John Hospital, the St. Joseph Hospital, and the St. Victoria Hospital in Jerusalem. So if the people needs kind of treatment, medical treatment, they have to come to Jerusalem. To come to Jerusalem, they have to obtain permission from the Israeli authority to let them pass through the checkpost. Then the Israelis are controlling the coming to Jerusalem and going out of Jerusalem for the Palestinian in the West Bank. And this also applied for the people who comes from Gaza to get treatment or medical treatment in Jerusalem. And now there was like a governmental hospital left by the Jordanian regime after 1967. The Israeli made very big effort to close it down, and it was like an Austrian hospice, which the Jordan after 1948 couldn't find big place like this to make it a hospital, so they changed it into hospital. But in 1983 the army came, the Minister of Health at that time, General Motigur, as Health Minister, said that this is an unecological place and it's very dirty, so they close it down in order to push the people to go to the Israeli hospitals like Gaza, Jari, and other hospitals. So the situation, even in that regard or that track, the human track are also controlling it or making it through the army, through the security. There is a general who wrote a book about this, that he said once in the book, I have the book here, they said that only 2 times the Israeli government gathered to discuss the issue of the Palestinians under occupation. Once in 1971 and in 1976. Otherwise, all the issues of the Palestinians in the West Bank and in Jerusalem and in Gaza Strip was under the control of the army. That's why they were ashamed of saying army, army, army. Then they created the civil administration. Civil administration, you cannot see one senior civilian working in this. All is ranks and army officers. So this is the situation. The army, with the theory of those people are not entitled to live, and we need their places, they need their land, we need their cities. This is the policy or the ideas that control these people. And this is the situation.
Yes. وہ یہ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ جو فلسطینی اتھارٹی ہے یہ صرف انہوں نے اس لیے بنائی تھی اور سول، تاکہ وہ جو ہر وقت فوج کا اور وہاں پہ جو قبضے کا جو ڈسکشن سامنے آتی تھی اور وہ جو ایک ننگی سچائی تھی اس کو ڈھانپنے کے لیے یہ نام نہاد ایک سیٹ اپ بنایا تھا. اور ابھی بھی ویسٹ بینک سے مغربی کنارے سے لوگوں نے علاج معالجے کے لیے یروشلم آنا ہو اسپتالوں میں، یہاں کے جو بڑے اسپتال ہیں ان کو اسرائیلی فوج کی چیک پوسٹوں سے گزر کے ان کی اجازت کی ضرورت ہوتی ہے. غزہ سے لوگوں نے اسپتال جانا ہوتا ہے تو ان کو بھی اسرائیل کی فوج کی اجازت کی چیک پوسٹوں سے گزرنے کی ضرورت ہوتی تھی. یہ جنگ سے پہلے کی صورتحال. اور وہ جو فلسطینی اتھارٹی کے نام سے چیزیں موجود تھیں یا وہ ایک سول سیٹ اپ تھا، وہ صرف دنیا کو دکھانے کے لیے یہ بات تھی تاکہ وہ جو ننگا جبر ہے دنیا جس کے بارے میں بار بار بات کر رہی تھی اس کو ایک منافقانہ انداز میں پیش کیا جا سکے. So it means that Palestinian Authority and all that Oslo Agreement has collapsed actually and actually never worked in practically. And now the situation is quite clear that Israel is attacking Gaza, is trying to completely grasp all the land in Gaza and push the people into the Sinai desert. So yes. It is quite very aggressively pursuing what they had in their mind all along. So what is the situation of the left-wing movements there in Palestine, about the PFLP and about the people's resistance at this moment? And definitely you should also talk about the Arab solidarity, the movements in Egypt, and how this you see can move forward in the coming days and months.
They are sharing the council of the executive committee of the PLO, but they are not we cannot say that they are strong, because there is a policy that goes for like the last 50 years, is that Al-Fatah group is, because it's the largest group among the Palestinians, so the Fatah group will have their big portion inside the Palestinian PLO. But they are there, the PFLP. They are in and out all the time because they are not agreeing with the whole policy of Mr. Mahmoud Abbas. There are several, they call themselves leftists inside the PLO, several small fragments like the People's Struggle organization, Al-Ba'ath, Iraqi Ba'ath. They have the Arab Front, and the Syrian also Ba'ath. They have their, but they are not sharing, and of course the People's Party, our party. It's now it's in a very bad shape because of the policy that are not that is resembling the Al-Fatah situation. We had like 3 conferences, general conferences were not held at the time, and it was postponed to allow the General Secretary and his group, Central Committee and the Politburo, and they are governing the party through one-man show. Especially like most of the Arab parties, left parties. So we can say that this made it, although it was the biggest political party before Oslo on the streets, and the organization, and the government, in the municipalities, and the work union, and the labor union, but now is on the margin. It's not in the center of the policy. So the situation of the left is very weak, and but for the PFLP still having their own policy, because policy, it's a national policy. Saying that liberation of Palestine, and are pushing for the liberation of them. And they have a good portion among the young people, which lacks more of the other left group are lacking the young people. But for the PFLP are taking very care for joining, adapting more young people from the universities, but they are still are not a contra power to the Islamic and the Al-Fatah group, which we consider the right wing in the Palestinian area, or the Palestinian political area. This is, of course, there is some activities inside those fragments, like the DFLP, Democratic Front for Liberation of Palestine, who are facing the same situation for the People's Party. And of course, the People's Party lost many of their comrades, because when they changed it from the Palestinian Communist Party to People's Party, they lost different comrades in the situation. This is to be solved inside the organization of the party. But what I'm talking about the People's Party also is common situation in the PFLP and the DFLP, because those people lately PFLP was aware of allowing elections inside there. So they are changing now. They have a new generation of leadership in Gaza and in the West Bank. They didn't change, but in Gaza and in Lebanon and Syria. And of course, for the others, there was some changes in the DFLP when they moved the two big, or the two old leaders like Samarra'i and Taysir Khalid they brought young people to take over. So
yes وہ ہمیں اب فلسطین کی جو سیاسی صورتحال ہے اس کے متعلق انہوں نے آگاہ کیا ہے کہ وہاں پہ جو پی ایل او تھی جس کے اندر فتح کا جو پارٹی ہے اس کا ایک زیادہ بڑا شیئر ہے، لیکن وہاں پہ جو بائیں بازو کی پارٹیاں ہیں جس میں پی ایف ایل پی ہے، پاپولر فرنٹ فار دا لبریشن آف پیلسٹائن، اور اس کی ایک بڑی لمبی جدوجہد کی تاریخ ہے. اسی طرح پیپلز پارٹی جس سے ان کا اپنا تعلق ہے اس کی ایک جدوجہد کی تاریخ ہے، کمیونسٹ پارٹی کی تاریخ ہے، ڈی ایف ایل پی ڈیموکریٹک فرنٹ فار دا لبریشن آف پیلسٹائن، یہ ساری بائیں بازو کی پارٹیاں ہیں اور یہ کافی لمبی تاریخ ہے. لیکن پچھلے عرصے کے اندر جو لیڈرشپ کے سے کوتاہیاں ہوئی، جو جرائم سرزد ہوئے، اس کی وجہ سے ان کی مقبولیت میں کمی آئی. لیکن وہ کہہ رہے ہیں کہ کچھ ایسی پارٹیاں ہیں جن میں اب دوبارہ نوجوان قیادتیں سامنے آئی ہیں اور خاص طور پر یونیورسٹیوں کے اندر ان کی مقبولیت بڑھ رہی ہے اور آنے والے دنوں میں ان کے امکانات جو ہے وہ آگے بڑھ سکتے ہیں. سو in the last I will ask you about the efforts you have been doing about class solidarity, not only with the working class in Palestine but also the working class in Israel, because recently very ultra right wing parties have dominated the Israeli politics and are leading there. But in the past, there have been efforts for a class solidarity against the regimes in the Israeli regime on a fight against on the class basis and cutting across religious divide and fighting on the class unity between the Jewish and the Muslim population, and the possibilities of a united struggle against the Israeli state between the Jewish and Islamic working class, and for the socialist transformation of the whole Palestine and for the socialist revolution of the region. So what do you think about those efforts, sir? What?
Yeah, you know that we have a very common case like but the Israeli Communist Party is still strong among the people, among the different platforms, and they have representative in the Israeli Knesset, and they have representative also in the Histadrut. And this is not the only platform. They are also participating in the teachers' union and the women's union and different people's platforms. And recently, unfortunately, those Islamic groups were at the beginning were backed by the Israeli government. So they want they want to not to allow the leftists to or the nationalists to spread largely in the community. So they as they did in Hamas in 1986 and 1987. Also, when they brought people who were in the prison out, like Zahar and Ahmad Yassin, who passed away, but after that they killed them and they showed them, like Abu Ali of the PFLP. So, they wanted the Palestinian to be defragment or defragmented. So they are allowing for the last government, the ex-government before that, they allowed Mansour Abbas to who is the leader of the Islamic southern part in Palestine, inside Palestine, to participate in the government. So he has two ministers government to push the Lapid and Gantz not to fall against the the complete right wing. They said it Yamin Malay. Yamin Malay in Hebrew means 100% right. They said this government. So now, because of the Likud, because of the Ben-Gvir, because of Smotrich, they didn't want any Arabs to be participating. So sometimes they consider them Arabs, and sometimes they consider them Muslims. So the Israelis are dividing the community, the Arab community inside Palestine, by Sunni, Durzi, Christian, and the Sharkas. Sharkas is the group who are very, very close to your country. As Russian Caucasian. We have
Uyghurs.
Yeah. So they are dividing the community like this. So when they want them to support them, they forget about the dividing, because Aharon Barak, Ehud Barak, when he wanted them to support him vis-a-vis Netanyahu in 2011, so he was shouting, thank you Arabs, because they made him won the elections. So they are like a group and the reserve. We want them, we will bring them, we will. But even the people who Druzes, for example, and now the Christian are serving in the Israeli army. The Druzes who at the beginning in 1947 and 1948 joined the Israeli army because there was an agreement between the big sheikhs of the Druze and the Israeli government and Ben Gurion at that time. They are not having the same rights like the Israelis and the Jewish. Though, so the soldier, the Durzi soldiers, when he finished his services in the army, he is off or out without any chance or very little chances to get work or to go for the university or to have like a small apartment of this. So the rights is only for the Israelis. That's what's called the national law, which was issued 2 years ago. It's allowing only the Israelis, and there is a difference between the Israeli Jew and the Israeli Arab. Okay, so they are not equal law. Recently, they started to move, but very. How I say it? They are ashamed of moving loudly and in the against the army, who are differing between them and the Israelis. So for lately, after they found several bishops or Christian clerical people who was encouraging the young Christian to enroll in the army or to get in the army. This is not only because they love Israel. 90% of those people who engaged in the Israeli army are not finding the good chance to work or to have the same rights of the other Israeli Jew. So they are trying to say, what else we have? We want to be like them. We want equal chance. But there was no
equality. With this army, with this division, how will they preparing for the ground offensive? They are saying that they are building a force of 300,000 people with the reservists and all that. Do you think that this ground offensive in the Gaza can be successful or will be effective, or will there be huge mass resistance from Gaza?
Some of them are believing in the interest of Israel. Yes, unfortunately. We see them in the demonstration now, because they attacked us and severely and brutally. Some Durzis are even bad than
No, I'm talking about the total Israeli army and the ground offensive they are preparing in Gaza. Do you think that with this whole ground offensive in Gaza can be successful, or there will be mass resistance, or they will be able to get 300,000, a force of 300,000?
I will recall what the Israeli generals are talking. The Israeli generals are talking that when we lost the attacks, when we lost the battle in the first days, we lost the most experienced rank in the Israeli army around Gaza, which is called the Brigade of Gaza, or the 800 Brigade. And there is no secret saying that when the Palestinian resistance or the Islamic resistance ambushed their places, they found a very important and very dangerous information inside the computers and the servers. They took all the information and they went back to Gaza. So what they say that they now knew about the ambush attack. It's not a rumor, but this is a fact that the Palestinian resistance was expecting the general attack from the army. So they went before them. They were they were fast before them to attack and to destruct their plans. So now the general says that we are calling the reserve. The reserve, those people are away from the army. Some of them are away from the army for 5 or 6 years. They don't know the situation of the new war in Gaza. So we need more time to
train them.
To train them. So, thank you. To train them to be ready for the attack on Gaza. But in the same time, they have another goal of that. When they are delaying the attack, the land attack in Gaza, they are allowing the Air Force to destruct more and kill more people in Gaza. Because, as I told you earlier, that Israel considering more killing, more destructing a kind of victory against the enemy. That is their goal and their policy since 1948, 1947 then. In 1947, there was more than between 500 and 600 massacres inside Palestine, in the Galilee and in the Triangle area, and in Jerusalem, Deir Yassin, Tantura, different places, Lifta. Well, it's written somewhere in the Palestinian books that there were 55 massacres. And they killed the Palestinians. They want to show them the brutality of the Zionists, that we are not joking with you. So either you leave or we kill you. So we killed them. They killed them. So that's why they wanted always the time. When you are talking to a soldier, suddenly he starts shouting at you. And I told him, he said, look, my friend, keep silent, because if we don't do this, and some of the colonialists or the settlers were passing the moment we are not searching you, in 15 minutes they will report us, and then there will be a high rank officer comes and check us or investigate us. So I told them that you are, you like us, under the control of these colonialist and settlers. So don't feel don't feel yourself a superior over me, because we are facing the same policy. He said, okay, hush, don't talk about this. So this is how they treat us. Don't talk. They shout against you. If they want you, they will not sending someone or two people to hit you or to break your arms. Or they will send 5 or 6 people. Then do not feel that you sometimes that you won some clashes with them. Although some of the people, or young people inside Jerusalem, they are like, I don't know, they're like militia. Sometimes they fly in the air and attack the army with bare hands. No weapons, no nothing, not even stones, not even a knife. I saw it twice. I saw them when they attacked the officer in Damascus Gate. One of the boys flew over the people and he catch the officer. And the other time I saw them when one of the settlers has the pepper gas, and he threw it against Islamic woman with the hijab, and in no time there was somebody who jump over the people and catch him, and he beat them, and he was shouting, "My mother, mother, mother." This is the situation. Never feel weak when you are talking to the Palestinian. Even the women, when the army, sometimes they said, I laugh sometimes. They start shouting, "Why you are shouting? I'm not a dead." So they don't respect, although they have a say. The Arabs avoid them and respect them. They were talking like this in 1948, 47. Now, no, you are inferior, like you said, because they are not paying a damn. Because killing an Arab in front of 100 people is very easy work. We saw it. If he shout and you do not listen, or you laugh, or you run away, then he will take the pistol or the machine gun. Finish. There will be no charge, no judgment, no conviction. So they have a free hand of killing you. This is kind of relations that they are practicing with the Palestinians to feel them afraid all the times of doing anything against the occupation army. And this policy is not working with the young people now. Maybe it works with me. I cannot fight, buddy fight, or fight fair fights. They tried to do it when we were in prison. They used to get us out of the cells, ourselves, and start to slap us and pushing us, or you cannot do anything because you are in prison. Sometimes I have in the demonstration we were together, some Jews and Arabs, against the imprisonment, against the policy of jails and many different. While interrogating me, they show me the picture. I was standing with an Israeli professor of mathematics in the Hebrew University, and they said, "Why you are with this man?" I told them, "He is my friend." They said, "We'll screw you and him." I told them, "You can't screw me because I am in your hands. I want to see how you screw this professor in the Hebrew University." So they are very silly. sometimes, but the power. Shouting, beating, killing, shooting. So what do? They need different attitude from different people, the young people, to deal with this kind of aggression. And sometimes when they are weak, or sometimes there was clashes like the Gaza, you can notice that they start to not to raise their voices against us, talking in different, but not. But as Leon is the greatest, one of the poets. I was together with him in lecture in Tel Aviv in the university during the 70s. Yeah. And he wanted to make a poem. He said that in 1948 the people were different. Then they said if they want your identity, okay, I will say identity, please. Okay, and you show them the identity. But now they said identity like this. He said Ishaq Leon was talking. So there is no respect, not even for the Arabs, and sometimes for the Jews. Yeah, and of course you are not. You are aware of the differences of treatment between the Eastern Jews and the Western Jews, the Ashkenazi.
Yes.
One the famous professor in the American universities told me about the Yemeni Jews. When they brought them from Yemen, they called it the eagle's wings. When they brought them, and they said that after that there is a big scandal of that, and then they brought all the young people of Yemenis of those families, and they treat them with the gamma ray, which were they took it from the American army in the early 50s. So some of them were killed, and they kept the things from their families. They said that they were sick. But why they did it? They said that those came from the Arab countries, and the Arab countries had like a local disease, and they said that there is some swarms in them. So she told me that they treated us very badly. Then when they put them in colonies, they brought all the people from East, like Iraqis, like Syrians, like Lebanese Jews, and they put them on the borders with the Jordan. That if the Jordanian will attack Israel, then they will attack first the Eastern Jews. And there is a great poem from a man is called, I will remember his name later. Getting old, getting Alzheimer sometimes. His great poems are that he said that I hate the sun because it comes from east. It rises from east. And I hate Arabs because they are resembling the Eastern Jews. They are not hating us directly, but because we are resembling the Eastern Jews, he hates us. So the philosophy or the ideas behind the establishment of Israel is known to everyone. It is very fascistic, ethnic differences, and of course, all the people, all the world now is aware of that. Israel was not established to hold the Jews or the suppressed Jews from all the world. Israel was established as a station to secure the interest of the imperialist countries. And all the lies about that the Nazi killed the Nazi, burned the Nazi, when you read the history of the first Israelis or the first Zionists who established the state, you will find that the cooperation between Nazi and the Jewish agency was earlier to 1939. It was during the rising of Nazis in Germany in 1933. There was a cooperation.
Yes, that is a very long topic about history and discussion, and there have been so many debates and discussions about it, and we will definitely continue our discussions. And thanks a lot for your time today, and thanks a lot because our time is limited. Our show has limited time. But once again, in the end, I will also extend solidarity, complete solidarity with the Palestinian struggle, the freedom struggle, and we stand wholeheartedly. All the comrades in Pakistan, you can send on behalf of a message to all the Palestinians there that comrades in Pakistan and all the working class and unions in Pakistan stand in complete solidarity with you, and we will fight against this Israeli aggression and this imperialist war in whatever capacity we can do. And we will also try to raise a solidarity movement through our international Marxist tendency in Europe and other Western countries, and definitely try to pressurize governments in not only pressurize but to fight for a revolution in Western countries and in Pakistan also, so that all this imperialism can be fought over and can be end once and for all. So thanks a lot, Comrade Hasib, for your time.
Few words at the end of this. Now, Palestine and Gaza needs more than solidarity. I believe that solidarity is very important and essential position. But now Gaza needs to be rebuilt and to resettle the people. This will, of course, will need more than solidarity to do. And the second thing is that, as I told you, if you can send a letter of solidarity, I can spread it over, with your logo over it and with your stamps and signature. Then I can spread it over the Palestinian organization, because we are working with a non-governmental organization. We are not working with the Palestinian official line. And it's only a few times when they called us to do some things for them. So thank you again for your time and your hospitality, receiving me on your television. And I hope that you send my greeting to all comrades in the Socialist Center. And please, give me more information at any time you feel. You have my email, you have my telephone, so you can send me anytime your publishings, and I believe that we need another meeting.
Definitely. Definitely, we will keep in touch, and we will definitely send you letter and solidarity, and you can see our articles in English on Marxist.com, and that is regularly updated. And on Marxist.com, you will find a lot of material about Palestinian movement, about struggle, about the solidarity movement in West, and also about situation in Pakistan. We regularly update on that, and also we have Marxist.pk, which is in Urdu language, but it talks about situation in Pakistan and the labor movement, about the student movement, about the Marxist analysis of politics in Pakistan.
You are not represented in the government?
Yes.
You are represented in the government and the parliament? You have
No. We are not. We are fighting against the government. We are fighting against the bourgeois regime and the capitalist class in Pakistan, and for a socialist revolution in Pakistan. But we are present in many trade unions and campuses in all the universities across the country, and we have big presence in all different nationalities in the country. So we are fighting for a revolutionary change in Pakistan and other countries. So we are not in that capacity, but we will keep fighting for the struggle,
comrade.
Just like
keep strong and keep fighting, keep struggle for the benefit of the workers and the poor people,
students. Yes, thank you,
our greeting those classes. Yes. Okay, thank you very much, Adam.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you very much. اور ناظرین، یہ ساری انہوں نے آخر میں جو باتیں کی ہیں وہ فلسطین کی جدوجہد کے حوالے سے، اور کس طرح اسرائیلی ریاست وہاں پہ ظلم کر رہی ہے، وہاں پہ جو چیک پوسٹوں کے اوپر لوگوں سے پوچھ گچھ کی جاتی ہے، تلاشی لی جاتی ہے، لوگوں سے کی شناخت کے بارے میں پوچھا جاتا ہے، گالیاں گلوچ کیا جاتا ہے، اور کسی بھی وہاں پہ فلسطینی کو قتل کرنا 100 لوگوں کے سامنے بھی کوئی بڑا مسئلہ نہیں ہے، اس کو کوئی جرم، اس پہ فرد جرم نہیں عائد ہوتی، اس کو کوئی سزا نہیں دی جاتی. وہاں پہ جیلوں کے اندر جو ہے وہ فلسطینیوں پر بڑا شدید تشدد کیا جاتا ہے. اور اسی طرح وہ اسرائیل کی ساری انہوں نے تاریخ کے حوالے سے گفتگو کی. وہاں پہ جو اسرائیل کی اپنی جو آبادی ہے اس کے اندر جو نسلی تعصب وہاں پہ کیا جاتا ہے، اور پورا جو اسرائیل کی ریاست ہے اس کی بنیاد ہی ایک نسلی تعصب کے اوپر رکھی گئی ہے. اور خود اسرائیلی جو آبادی ہے، جو اسرائیلی یہودی آبادی ہے، اس کے اندر بہت شدید ایک نسلی تعصب موجود ہے. پھر عربوں کے خلاف ایک نسلی تعصب موجود ہے، اور پوری اس کی ایک تاریخ ہے، اور ایک مذہبی منافرت کو استعمال کیا جاتا ہے. اور یہ پورا ایک انہوں نے کہا کہ ایک سامراجی پروپیگنڈا ہے، سامراجی پروجیکٹ ہے، جو اب اپنے ایک انتہائی مقاصد کے لیے. پھر انہوں نے بتایا کہ 3 لاکھ کے قریب فوج اکٹھی کی جا رہی ہے، اور غزہ کے اوپر زمینی حملے کی تیاری ہمیں کرتے ہوئے نظر آ رہے ہیں. لیکن انہوں نے کہا کہ اسرائیلی جو فوجی ہیں ان کے اندر انہوں نے بتایا کہ وہ کتنے بزدل ہیں، اور عام فلسطینی نوجوان جن کے پاس ایک پتھر بھی نہیں ہوتا، ایک کوئی چاقو بھی نہیں ہوتا، وہ بھی ایک مسلح فوجی کے اوپر حملہ کر دیتا ہے اور اس کو گردن سے دبوچ لیتا ہے. اور اس قسم کے واقعات وہ کہتے ہیں ہم ہر روز دیکھتے ہیں، اور بڑا ظلم اور تشدد یہاں پہ فلسطینیوں کو روزمرہ کی زندگی کے اندر برداشت کرنا پڑتا ہے. اور اب ایک جنگ کی کیفیت ہے، اور ایک حملے کی تیاری ان تمام نہتے لوگوں پر جو ایک پچھلے 1947-48 سے جبر برداشت کر رہے ہیں، ظلم برداشت کر رہے ہیں. اب ان کو گھروں سے نکالنے کے لیے 23 لاکھ کی آبادی ہے غزہ کی پٹی پر، اس پر ایک زمینی حملے کی تیاری کی جا رہی ہے. اور اس سے پہلے بہت بڑے پیمانے پہ بمباری غزہ کے اوپر کی جا رہی ہے تاکہ آگے سے مزاحمت کم سے کم ہو سکے. تو یہ ایک صورتحال انہوں نے ہمارے سامنے رکھی ہے، اور آئندہ بھی فلسطین کے حوالے سے ہم اپنا نقطۂ نظر، اپنا جو تجزیہ ہے، تناظر ہے، اس کو بحث میں لائیں گے. لیکن جو اس وقت گراؤنڈ صورتحال تھی اور جو تھوڑا بہت عالمی سطح پہ صورتحال تھی، اس کا جائزہ لینا بہت ضروری تھا. اگلے پوڈ کاسٹ کے حوالے مزدور ٹی وی کے اگلے پروگرام تک کے لیے اجازت دیجیے. لال سلام.